Nice does not have to equal expensive. Nice can equal gently used. Nice can equal hand-me-downs. Nice can equal DIY. Nice can equal something you bought at Target. Nice doesn't have to mean expensive at all costs. We grew up with the phrase, home is where the heart is, but our culture has shifted and now the message is, home should be Pinterest perfect. I'm calling BS on that message. Home, it's not about the stuff, it's about the story. And whether you know it or not, your home is a reflection of you and is already saying something. So what is it that you want it to say? Hey, I'm Danny, a former first grade teacher turned home decorator. Going from a dual income to a single income so I could stay home with my babies meant budget, like ramen eating, Goodwill shopping budget. And I learned a few things along the way, like how to bring big style to your home without breaking the bank. And I'm sharing it all with you. Tips, tricks, decor, and design advice so you can learn to tell your story with your style, where you can start living free from the Pinterest perfect trap and start living a life of intention. Welcome to Fig and Farm at Home, where we design happy living and where it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. All week long, I have been hosting a Love Your Home challenge. And for those who subscribe to the challenge, they have received each day via email a video lesson that is talking about one of the 5 fundamental concepts for creating a home that you delight in. We have started at the very beginning, the thing that is most foundational, fundamental for moving forward successfully as you learn how to decorate your home. It has been a really fun challenge, and the emails I've been receiving have been so much fun. The aha moments that are happening, the questions that are being asked, it has been a real delight. And in case this is the first time that you are hearing about this challenge, or you feel like you missed the boat and you would like to have the replays of those trainings, I'm happy to send them to you. Until February 21st, I am happy to do that. You can email me at hello@figandfarmathome.com and I will send them all your way. But one of the trainings I did this week had a teeny tiny little section about things that keep people stuck from moving forward. Now I know the people in my challenge, they are action takers. They signed up, they are watching the videos, they are doing the homework, and they are asking questions. And they're all moving forward because they believe that they can have what it takes in order to create a home that they delight in, believing that the secrets to great design or the secrets to learning how to decorate your home, they don't just belong to interior designers with fancy degrees. And I have to say, I completely agree with them because they don't. Unlocking the secrets for knowing how to create spaces that you want to be in at the end of a long day, those tools are available for all of you. Sometimes it's sifting through the myriad of choices, the vast amount of information, the sea of noises, in order to figure out where to start, where to begin, what to pay attention to. And I hope that those who participated in the challenge are doing just that. But some of you might still be on the sidelines a bit. Some of you might still be kind of tiptoeing your way to the edge to say, yep, I'm going to test those waters just a little bit. Some of you might still be stuck knowing what it is you want your home to look like, function like, feel like, knowing the goals that you have in mind, but holding back because of, any number of reasons, really. Today we're going to dive into 5 that I've seen the most throughout my years of home decorating. And the goal here in today's show is to help boost that confidence if that is you who is standing on the sidelines, if you are feeling just a teeny tiny bit stuck. And ultimately, my dear, I want to empower you to be a learner, to be curious, to ask questions, to get help when you need it, but to dive in if you have a goal that is in mind, within reach, that feels a long way off. As I share the 5 things that I've seen most often, the things that are keeping people stuck from creating homes and investing their time and energy into creating these spaces that they delight in, I don't want you to just stay stuck in that acknowledgement of, oh yeah, that one resonates with me. Oh, that one too. That one too. I don't want you to stay stuck there. What I want you to hopefully hear is that the opposite of that stuckness is empowerment and learning. When my boys were little, and even now, when there was a problem that inevitably happens, right? When you're raising kiddos, I would often say, as we're trying to mitigate this problem, okay, do you want to be part of the problem or do you want to be part of the solution? And the same thing happens here. If I am identifying 5 problems, things that are keeping people stuck, we can continue to be part of that, or we can move forward to be a part of the solution. And if having that end goal in mind is your goal, your dream, your hope, the solution is in the learning. All right, let's dive in. And we're going to start with the most common thing I hear. And that most common thing I hear that keeps people stuck is this idea that a pretty home, a beautiful home, a functional home, you name it, whatever adjective you want to put in there, it costs too much. And I can likely see several scenarios in which that would be the case. You've heard me say that yes, if you were to go to your favorite decor store and you were to buy one whole collection of all the things that weekend or that week, even that month, doing it basically all at one time, yes, that would be cost prohibitive and really, really expensive. Likewise, if you were to hire an interior design firm, that could be really cost prohibitive. I was doing a little bit of research just to see how much does an interior designer cost. And if you were to go through an interior design firm, you might expect to pay anywhere from $2,000, which felt a little bit low to me, up to $12,000 or higher per project. And that doesn't necessarily include the cost of materials. So if you were wanting to, purchase new things, buy the paint, buy the supplies to maybe build something, that wouldn't be the cost in there. That is just the cost for their time. So yeah, that would be a really expensive route, and it could be cost prohibitive and could be stopping you in your tracks from moving forward. Even hiring an interior decorator at an hourly rate could be anywhere from $50 to $500 an hour, based on experience or location and even demand. But sometimes cost doesn't just come from the monetary side. Sometimes it comes from the amount of time invested. It takes time to not only learn the materials or learn the concepts, but it takes time to sort through the sea of information in order to determine where your best resource of learning is. That's one of the wonderful things about having resources like this podcast or blogs or YouTube channels, where that information is available at your fingertips when you want it, when you need it, and it is free. But there's a cost to that as well. And that cost usually comes in the form of inconvenience, meaning you're still learning, you're still gathering information. You might have found that one person that you love learning from, but you have to piecemeal the information in order to make a rhythmic path to go from beginning where you are to ending. And if truth be told, there are times when some of that information in whatever niche, but especially in home decorating, is kept a little bit behind a gate. Going back to hiring an interior designer, you might be able to ask questions along the way, but the learning is really kept at bay. The learning is kept at a distance. The learning is peripheral. The learning is based on your observation, not necessarily close interaction. And so replicating or repeating something, changing anything in the future can be really, really hard if you don't really know the process and understand the process it took to get those decisions in the first place. If you're presented with a sea of choices that they chose for you based on all the work that they did, which is awesome, applying it down the road in 15 years when you're ready for a change requires then that you reinvest that $12,000 to do it again. So now what? If I'm telling you that hiring the fancy pants guy is really expensive and learning on your own is really time expensive, what is the best solution? If monetary budget is an issue, if time budget is an issue, here's what I would do. I would find the one trusted source that you like, and I would see what programs they have, what help they have. Because here's the thing, and I'm using my own business as an example. With this podcast, there's lots of free information, and I hope that you listen to it and you share with your friends and you do all the things. The goal here is for you to learn something. But if you're wanting to make headway And if you're thinking, I just can't, something's keeping me stuck, if you're wanting to make headway, having that program or that package or that whatever it is takes out the guesswork of which blog post to read first, or which action item to act on second, or which video should I be watching next. So whoever you're following, and it doesn't have to be me, whoever you're following and whoever you have as a trusted source, dive in just a little bit there and see what options they have available in order to help you move your needle forward. Because I bet they have some options. And I'm guessing, maybe not, I'm guessing they don't have the $12,000 price tag per project. But I'm guessing that even a little bit of cost is going to be worth the time that it would take to sort through it on your own. And so if you're wondering, okay, Danny, well, what are your options? Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking. I have two. I have the Collective, which is a monthly membership that has 3 core concepts. Those core concepts are the things that you need to know foundationally before you start decorating your home. And then each week I deliver a weekly video lesson that kind of pinpoints back to those core concepts, and it just solidifies your learning in different ways. Inside of that, the Collective, we have monthly Q&As, so you get your questions answered real time. And then members always have their perks. So if they wanted to work with me one-on-one, it is a discounted price from if you were to purchase directly from the podcast, which is my second option. Having a one-on-one conversation, a decorating SOS conversation, can be really impactful. It allows you to share your goals that you have for your home, any roadblocks that you have in your way, and then you get the plan. You get the plan. What should I do first? You get that plan. And usually you get more than just one step. You get the next 5. And then, of course, you have the opportunity to check back in and see how that progress is being made. So for me, there are a couple options. But check with those people that you are trusting with. You're always watching their YouTube videos. You're always reading their blogs. Check with them. See if they have a program that could help you move that needle forward, that it allows just a little bit of framework and structure to your learning that supports you along the way. Okay, the second thing that I see that keeps people stuck is a fear of making mistakes. Maybe you've had too many mistakes in the past. Maybe you have purchased something and now you're sitting with a ginormous, expensive bully in your home, and that bully is dictating every future decision that you bring into your home. And so now you're just stuck. And that has happened. I had a client recently who had a couch, did the thing that is so common to so many of us. And that thing is they needed a new couch, or they wanted a new couch. I don't know if she had a need or a want, but regardless, they went furniture shopping and they found a really great deal. And not only did they find the really great deal for the oversized couch, but they found the great deal for the matching set. And they brought it home. And it wasn't until they brought it home when she knew straight away, uh-oh, this is too big for my space. But you know how inconvenient it is to get the couch, to bring it home, to unpack it, to unbox it, to have it delivered with a delivery fee that you can't return, and then return it all? That's just inconvenient, right? And so then you live with that thing for 10 years until it's time to replace the couch out of necessity, not just because you don't like the thing. That is a mistake that I don't want you guys to make. That is a mistake that when you are invested in the learning or in the hiring the fancy pants designer, those mistakes are likely not to happen because you just have more information at your fingertips. Inside of the Love Your Home Challenge this week, we were talking about the budgeting, and I go about budgeting just a little differently. Of course, money matters, absolutely, because I don't have time for that. I don't have resources to just throw money at everything. And I have a feeling that we are in the same boat, right? I mean, the cost of eggs, do we even need to get started with that? But the approach is just a little different. When you know what it is you need to do first, sometimes you avoid the things like buying the couch that shouldn't have been bought in the first place. But because you might have thought that you needed to buy the couch first in order to refresh your space, because you did that action, now you're backtracking and trying to fix all the mistakes that go along with buying the thing that we shouldn't have bought. Knowing the biggest impact change is helpful. Knowing what you should do first, what you should concentrate on first, is helpful. And so as you're going back to this idea of, okay, am I hiring the fancy pants designer? Am I going to that person, that trusted resource? Do they have those options available for me so that I cannot make those mistakes again? But here's where I want to say too, if those mistakes aren't the ones you're making, those big ones that now everything else is tied to, if they're the little ones, if they're the, oops, I chose a color that is not quite right for my wall. Okay, that's okay. That is experimentation, and a lot of home design is experimentation. What is going to work, what is not going to work. But if you can focus your learning on understanding your aesthetic and learning what makes things cohesive, that mistake won't be repeated again. And then when you decide to go ahead and change that color, hopefully you'll have more information at your fingertips in order to make that choice confidently the next time. Learning increases confidence. Learning is empowerment. And it does take some experimenting, because if all we do is just learn and absorb information without any output, we are going to be just stuck. We're just going to stay stuck. Okay, the third thing that I see most often that keep people stuck is that they are overwhelmed by too many choices. There's just too many choices. And here's where hiring someone to help you can help eliminate some of those choices. And that would be one benefit for hiring someone to do it for you, right? They are the ones who are in tune with your aesthetic, with your design style, and they bring the choices to you, making the sifting through the choices much more manageable, right? When you're looking at 6 rather than 1,000, it's more manageable. You can definitely handle that. But how do you do that on your own when you're learning? You do that by really understanding your aesthetic. It is that foundational. It is that important. And when you understand your aesthetic, you're able to go to the store and you're able to see all of the choices. You're able to do this online, wherever you are, see all of the choices and say, yes, that one is really lovely. That one is not me. Or that one won't fit with what's happening in my home. It is so much fun to see some of the members inside of the collective really start understanding and grasping their aesthetic. When we get on coaching calls and I hear questions and I see updates and I see pictures of the progress they're making on their homes, or even the ideas of, will this one work? Yes, it will work, and here is why. And so now trusting yourself, because you have done the hard work of understanding what your aesthetic is, that hard work is now starting to pay off. That learning is not now going to be undone. Even if their styles change, they're going to reevaluate the things, the design elements that make up the core of their aesthetic, and that can ebb and flow when their design style changes. Maybe it changes in 10 years. I know mine has over the last several years. It's changed, it's been refined, it's been honed in on just a little bit more, and that happens with other people too. The fourth thing that I hear oftentimes is, I can't have nice things because I have animals or I have kiddos. And that I just can't get behind, because nice does not equal expensive. And if you're equating nice to expensive things, then sure. I mean, I won't have a nice home because I'm not going to buy the expensive things, but I have kids and I have animals, but that's not my excuse. It's because nice equals expensive, and that is a formula that I can't get behind. Nice does not have to equal expensive. Nice can equal gently used. Nice can equal hand-me-downs. Nice can equal DIY. Nice can equal something you bought at Target. Nice doesn't have to mean expensive at all costs. It is, however, important to note that if you find an item that you think is too nice for your home, maybe you're worried that your animal or your kiddo might ruin it, what could the alternative be to that? Is there a high and a low option? Or is there something that can be done to help train your human or train your animal so that you can have that expensive, nice thing, right? Homes are going to have wear and tear. If I thought I can't have nice things because I have kids, gosh, I wouldn't be in my home. I mean, my home comes with millwork that is now a little bit dingy because I allowed my kids to use their remote control cars and they weren't very good drivers when they started. And now we've got a little red scuff mark on my millwork. If I followed that philosophy and said, I can't have nice things because I have kids, you know what? I actually wouldn't be driving a car. I might be riding a bike and I'd be in good shape. But I would be riding a bike because my car, though not overly expensive, is nice. If I use that logic for other things, I can't have nice things. I can't have nice clothes. I can't shop at Lululemon or I don't know where you shop, the Loft or J. Crew or wherever the nice is. I can't have those because I might pick up my crying toddler and my crying toddler might, I don't know, get their crumbs on me. They might smear their peanut butter on my shirt. That is the logic to me and I can't quite get around it. Nice does not equal expensive. It can, absolutely, but it doesn't have to be. I immediately think about the HGTV magazine that arrives in my mailbox every month. And one of the things that I like seeing, one of the articles I like reading is their high and low list. And oftentimes they only feature maybe 5 to 8 items. And you get a sense of, if I liked something like this, we'll say it's a lamp, and oh my gosh, really, I'm going to pay $500 for a lamp? No, I'm not. My boys, you've heard me say, kick balls in the house. Now, these aren't the hard balls, but they are balls and they are flying. And would I buy a $500 lamp? No, because I'm living life in my home and I hope you are too, but I'm going to need a light because I need some light. And plus I like ambient light. So I'm going to buy the table lamp, but I'm going to make a better choice. What is the low option? The low option, okay, $50. I can do that. It looks very similar. It doesn't have that brand name associated with it. It's a very similar look. I'm happy with that. So friend, if having animals or having kids or a husband or whatever I can't have nice things because, I want you to challenge that. And if you think the nice is expensive, I want you to challenge that. And if you think the nice can't be used items, thrift store items, hand-me-downs, purchased at a decor store that doesn't necessarily have the brand name, I want you to challenge that because it absolutely can. And the 5th thing that keeps people stuck, here's where I'm sending you a very big hug, because sometimes we just have that belief that I'm kind of a failure when it comes to this. I kind of stink when it comes to decorating my home. I can't seem to figure it out, even though I am positioning myself in a place of learning. I can't figure it out. It's hard for me. Okay, friend, here is where I want to speak a little tough love to you, because you have done some very, very hard things in your life. I know it. I know it without you even telling me what those hard things are. If you're a parent, friend, those babies didn't come with a manual. You figured it out. You figured it out. You paid attention to the people around you who were parenting well and you asked them questions. You paid attention to those magazines and the tips you heard, even on TV. You paid attention and you did better. You got feedback when you needed it. You got help when you needed it. You surrounded yourself with people who could support you and love those babies. You figured it out. Just because you don't know today how to decorate your home and create it in such a way that matches the vision you have for it doesn't mean that you won't figure it out. It is figure-outable. Everything is figure-outable. You can do it and you don't have to go back to school full-time in order to learn it. I guarantee it. So here's what I want you to do to give yourself a little grace. I want you to picture, if you are a parent, I want you to picture a time when your kiddo was really down on themselves for not being able to figure it out, whatever it is. What did you do to support them? Did you say, yeah, dummy, you're not going to get it. You're going to be a failure for the rest of your life. No, you're a good human. You did not do that. You did not do that. what did you do? You probably said, you know what, let's take a break. Let's go to the park. Let's take a break. Let's take a breather. Let's go get ice cream. And then we'll come back when we have a little bit different perspective. Okay, you're stuck with math? Fantastic. That's okay. Let me help you. Let me sit side by side with you. Oh, that's a question I can't answer. Let me Google it. Let me ask your teacher. Let me ask Johnny's mom, who probably knows. You know what? Johnny's really good at math. Maybe Johnny can come over and help you. You're creating resources for this teeny tiny who thinks they are such a failure at this one thing, whatever that it is. And you're providing a pathway for them in order to get unstuck. And if all else fails and you've tried all of those resources, then what do? You hire the expert, you hire the tutor, and you say, hey, you know what, math has changed a lot since I was in school. By the way, it has. Math has changed a lot, and I can't quite help them. I don't have the resources by myself to help them. Can you help them? Yes, I will pay you $65 an hour in order to help them. Can you please help my little one? I want them to feel better about this thing because their goal is to pass the grade. Their goal is to get good grades or get a good score on their SAT and get into that college. Their goal is to just finish it because it's required. Their goal is to just not feel so crummy about themselves because they want to not have to spend their time in recess doing the math because they want to go out and play. Right? Their goals don't have to be so big, and neither do yours in your home, but there are solutions to every problem. There are solutions to every problem. So here's my question for you. If you could not figure out, we'll say math, you might hire a tutor. You might hire the coach to help you with it. If home decorating is hard for you, if it is unfigureoutable at this point, why are you not hiring the tutor? What is it that is keeping you from hiring the tutor? Because there are a couple options here. Of course, you already know what some of those are and the price points I shared with you at the beginning. But when it comes to how I can help you specifically, one option is to dive into the learning. It's inside of the collective. And it's affordable. It's probably too cheap, to be quite honest. But one of them is to hire the tutor, to hire the person who can say, hey, let's take a breather. Hold on a second. Tell me what your goals are. What is the objective here? Yeah, okay, let's figure this out together. Here's what I would do in order to take that next step forward. Here's a plan for you to follow so that you can make progress, because your goals aren't to stay stuck. Your goals are there and you are here. Sometimes when the choice is staying where you are now or hiring the tutor to take the next step, sometimes that is a feeling choice. Sometimes that is you know what, I don't really have to sacrifice a whole lot in order to make that happen. I'm just feeling a little self-conscious because I don't know it. Well, we weren't born with a manual, friends. We weren't. None of us were. We figured it out. You are an expert at your job. You're an expert at parenting. You weren't born with those skills. You figured them out along the way. You learned them along the way. You probably had help and mentors along the way. Let me help you. I would absolutely love it. You can book a decorating SOS call by going to faganfarmathome.com/decorating-SOS. And I would be honored to be your tutor. All right, friends, 5 ways we can overcome those misbeliefs that are keeping us stuck. You can do it. I am rooting for you. I am cheering you on. I am saying that learning is at your fingertips. I'm here to help you if you need it. Until next time. I'll see you soon. Hey, real quick before you go, if you learned something new or found value in today's podcast, would you head over to iTunes to Fig and Farm at Home and leave a review and subscribe to the show? That would be awesome. And if you'd like to connect with my community of mamas who are learning to be intentional storytellers within their own homes, join us at bit.ly/design101 group. There's always more room at the table. See you soon.